Maria G27. Hi Chris, love your channel. I have a question regarding the big events such as the LRH birthday event being held in Clearwater, Florida. It seems that at every big celebration, Miscavige and others give membership totals in the millions. Did you ever question the number of Scientology members by how many people were present at these celebrations? I am assuming it was only in the hundreds the last decade or so, but not like in 1993 when the War is Over declaration was made. Is it not a requirement of the organization for all Scientologists to attend a few of these every year? What was the reason given, if any, for low attendance? Keep up the great work. Okay, yeah, Scientologists are expected to attend the events, but that doesn't mean all of them do. And as the years have gone on, the event attendance has gotten less and less. The War is Over 1993 event was an anomaly because that was attended by people internationally. People flew in. I mean, it was huge. They only had a week notice. It was some big, gigantic thing. They were frantically calling everybody all over the world. And they had about 10,000 people show up at that thing. They have never, ever had an event even close to that kind of attendance. But they're not down to hundreds. It's more like thousands. The Shrine Auditorium in LA, I think, holds, I don't know, 4,800 people, something like that. And they don't fill that thing. They didn't fill it the whole time I was there. And I was working directly on events for quite a while. Now, in terms of did I ever question membership totals, and us having millions of members, yes and no. Like I did. I looked at it. I went, God, millions of people, really? But I didn't really think about it too much until near the end. Because it's just sort of millions. Okay, fine, millions. Like you don't really, it's just a number. You just kind of throw it out there. It's not like we ever expected there to be millions of people show up at any one event. And like in Los Angeles, which is where I was most of the time, there were considered to be about 10,000 some Scientologists there. Now, if there were millions of members, then there should be a lot more than 10,000 in LA. But again, we didn't really think about it too much, right? In other words, we didn't do the math. We didn't, and then again, I hope in my earlier question, I kind of got the idea across about how Scientologists, their very attitude is to not question things. And that gets into the Sea Org as well. So the reasoning, though, in the minds of me and others as to why people wouldn't come to events or wouldn't show up had to do with an expression in Scientology called dilettantism. And this is a slang term, and it's a derogatory term for Scientologists or anyone who doesn't really hardcore participate in something. They're dilettantes. Hubbard used this as a term to say people who think that, going bowling and going to the horse races. This is the examples he gave. Who equate that kind of activity, with Scientology, are really second-class citizens. They're to be looked down upon. They're not taking Scientology seriously. And Hubbard called Scientology a deadly serious activity. So if they didn't have that attitude, then they were out ethics. There was something wrong with them, and they were doing, their attitude was wrong. And they were probably up to something that they were hiding, right, and keeping secret. So that was sort of how we thought about people who didn't show up to events, as, oh, they're dilettantes. And it was also a great excuse in our minds because we thought, boy, we really have to do something about all these dilettantes. And we would assume that there were all these dilettantes out there. Then there was, of course, people who didn't want to have anything more to do with Scientology. That was a bit of a different thing. That was a disaffected Scientologists, right? Oh, they're disaffected. That means they've really gone off the reservation. They are definitely out ethics. Okay, they're just like, and so you got to recover those people, and I spent quite a bit of time doing that. When they weren't even showing up for things that they didn't even have to pay for to come to, then we just thought, they're just out ethics, they're dilettantes, right? And that's kind of the way that Scientologists brush those people off and explain to themselves why people aren't showing up.